okay, we want to capture this while she's being good. Can't say her name. She's thinking about otherwise.
Looks like she's gonna behave.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jackie's Journey.
Hello. This is like take 5.
Welcome to video 15. What are we going to do, Hannah, for 15?
Well, we left off when you were talking about Army life. What it was like for you as an 18-year-old leaving home and going into the Army and realizing that you were different. And what you thought you were growing up is not actually true. And you learned that when you went away from home.
Yep, that's true.
I guess we'll continue down that path.
Okay.
So you went into the Army at 18, right out of high school. And then at 25, you had me.
Number 1 of 5.
You served for 5 years in the Army?
4.5 active, and then about 1.5 years in the Army Reserves. That I had joined a church, and it was a holiness church that went to church on Saturday. And because my drills were on the weekend, I wasn't supposed to work on the weekend, I decided that at that point in my life, I wanted to pursue this knowledge of God, and I wanted to go 100% full speed ahead, and that's what I did.
And I know, like you've told us quite a few times throughout our lives, when we were growing up, about how when you were younger, you weren't raised in the church, but you always felt like there was something greater, there was a higher power, I guess you can say.
Yep, that's true. When I was very young, my father's mother died, and we were very close to her, and that's my Nana, and that was very hard for me. And until my parents would tell me where she was, I couldn't find rest with it. And I just wanted to know, where does she go? She can't just not be here anymore. She was here, now where is she? We'll go see her. And then they said she was in heaven. And now we didn't go to church every week, so heaven was a new concept for me. And I found it interesting. And since Nana was there, I said, oh, okay, well, one day I'll go to heaven and then I'll be able to see her, right? And they said yes, and then I found peace with it, and I was okay with it. So I was curious, where is this heaven, and how do you get there?
So then you started going to that church on Saturdays, and let's talk about that.
Well, yeah, we'll fast forward way down the road, and then I found this church. I was just coming to my new duty station. I had been in Hawaii for 3.5 years, and whenever you go to a new duty station, you're making new friends. Everything's new. It's kind of like changing schools when you're young. You got to make new friends. You got to find new places to go. And in my search for new friends, I ran into some people who would go to church. And of course I was intrigued with God as I knew him, and wanted to find out more. And so I ended up joining this church, and again, that's where I decided I wasn't going to be in the reserves anymore. I was going to go to church and find God. And so I joined this church, and in this church they spoke of a evangelist who was very well known and very well loved, and she was going to be coming and doing a revival. And I was so excited. I was like, oh, who is this person? I really want to meet her. And so she was coming to the revival, and I found myself at the revival in the front row. Now, majority of the time in these churches, I was the lightest thing in there. I wasn't the only, lighter shade, but I was in the minority for sure. There weren't very many of the lighter shades, and so that in itself was a new concept. But to me, I was excited to find God. It didn't matter to me who I was finding Him with, and so we go to the revival, and I met who would be my mother-in-law, because I also met her son. I married her son, and as Hannah told you, along came number one.
Always number one, don't forget that.
I became pregnant fairly quickly, and in wanting to do what was believed to be the right thing, I decided, well, we got to get married, right? So we got married, and I'd always wanted a big family, and he was very generous in accommodating me to have a big family. He was like, if that's what you want, let's, we'll have a big family. And we did, which not everybody would do that. I always found that to be, he was very kind. We got along good in the early days. As time went on, we grew apart, and of course we ended up getting a divorce. But he gave me my big family, which I wanted, and when he decided, or it was decided that he would no longer be in the picture, then I was like, this is what I wanted, and by golly, this is what we got, and let's go. And so there you have it. She's digging into some deep shit. What else you want to know?
Well, your desire for a big family came from growing up where it was just you and your sister, and there were times where you were at odds and you were lonely. I mean, I get you had your friends,
right?
But aside from family, it could be a little bit lonely for you because you didn't necessarily get along all the time.
Right, and our next door neighbors had 4 children, and I remember even when they were in trouble for whatever it was that they did, they would be downstairs, and there was a window that you could, on the driveway, you could walk up, and the window was at the driveway level, so you could look in. Well, they were being punished, they were grounded, but they're downstairs in the living room playing a game, I'm like, God, you guys are being punished and you're having fun. So I just thought
we would get separated.
Yeah, I guess for that reason, right? There wasn't too much separating in a 500 square foot house.
True.
But anyway, yeah. So I just felt like I wanted to have a big family because I wanted them growing up to be able to get along. If one was mad at one, they could have another to play with. Mm-hmm. It's funny the reasons why we do the things we do.
Mm-hmm. Or even in our situations, I mean, it was helpful because where we lived, we weren't close to our friends.
Right.
The time when we were able to hang out with our friends was church, school, and if they were able to come over when we lived in the Navy Rec, it was easier for them to come over.
Right.
But for most of the time, it was just us 5 mm-hmm. that had to keep one another company.
Yeah. We created a big family, and I'll tell you, a lot of my parenting styles came from the teachings of my mother-in-law. She would teach in church how to raise your children and how to discipline your children. And I took notes in my head and in my practice. And the things that she taught me, I applied in raising my children. And that mixed with things that my own beliefs and my own feelings toward things from other experiences. But she was a significant part of my parenting style. And I believe she knew what she was talking about, and it made sense. She would teach us, train your children at home so that they don't act crazy in the grocery store. So I would have them sit on the sofa for sometimes 30 minutes at a time, all of them, and they would have to be quiet. Now they could have a toy or their blanket or something. They could have something, but they had to learn how to be satisfied sitting and waiting while mommy did what she had to do. And we would practice that at home. And
it came handy in church because we were at church for all day. And you had to sit there and be quiet, because if you weren't, your uncle, your grandmother, your cousin could beat you, spank you, discipline you.
Right. And then if they did, mama wasn't going to be happy when we got home.
No.
But I value her teachings to this day. And I'm still teaching my grandbabies some of the same things. And the one thing that stood out the most to me was, if you say you're going to do something to your children, and these were her words, if you tell them that they can't go, or that they can't have that cookie, or they can't have those chips, don't not do it. You have to stick to your word, because they will learn that, oh, just ask her 2 more times or 3 more times or 4 more times and she'll give in. But if they know, if mom said no, it's no. You got to teach them that when they're young. And that was like the kingpin of all lessons, because if they're not going to listen to you, then they're not going to do what you say, whether you're there or you're not there, but especially when you're not there.
And if they don't respect you, who will they respect?
Exactly. And I thank her for all of her wonderful teachings. What's up?
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
I think that was some good information. And with every video, I learned something new.
Good.
So this has been Jackie's Journey. This is video number 15. Thanks for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up.
Yep.
Subscribe below.
Yep.
Leave a comment if you have any questions. Follow her on her social media outlets. She's got Facebook, she's got Twitter, she's got Instagram, and she's on Snapchat.
Yeah, I'm learning that one.
If you subscribe, you'll get notifications when she posts a new video. Of course, we're going to post it on Facebook to tell you when there's a new one, in case you don't know how to subscribe
to YouTube.
But thank you for watching, and check in with us next time.
Thank you. See you on the next video.
Bye.
Welcome to Jackie's Journey. The background to our lives.
I like the standing.
Well, you can stand.